All right, so we want to talk about the grip width on the bench press. Now, while any grip width conversation is going to have a degree of individualization depending on your shoulders and wrists and elbows, if you've had an injury or something like that, there are some pretty general guidelines that we can follow that's going to put your body, your upper body, at the best angles to press the most weight. And what we want to do is make sure that we are putting our joints in positions relative to one another to facilitate generating the most amount of torque, and not putting ourselves at bad or disadvantageous torque angles versus more advantageous torque angles. So let's look at the position that we're going to want to be in. Now, of course, whenever I grip the barbell for a bench press, I'm going to use a compression grip, so I don't want my knuckles parallel with the bar. Instead, I want the outside of my hand canted away from the bar so that my knuckles point into the bar just like that. Okay, I'm going to do this for both sides. This just allows me to have the barbell directly over the long bones of my forearm, prevents the bar from floating over space whenever I'm going to lift, takes out any slack from the barbell. Okay. Additionally, I need to establish a procedure that's going to allow me to get a very consistent grip width. All right. The procedure that I like to do is start with my thumb length from the smooth part of the bar, and then I just inch my pinky out a little bit. So I basically align this first knuckle of my pinky to the barbell. And what you can see is that's putting my hand just inside of this first reference ring of the barbell. I'm going to do that on both sides, okay? And then I'm going to unrack. And what you're going to see is at the top, wrist is outside of my elbow, elbow is outside of my shoulder. As I begin to descend to my chest, the barbell moves away from the rack ever so slightly. It touches my chest, and at the bottom position, my wrist is stacked more or less vertically directly over my elbow. My elbow is in front of my shoulder and away from my ribs. It's not all the way in here. It's right here. And then as I go to press back up, you're going to see me come to that 90 right at the crux of the lift, the most advantageous torque angle that the body can achieve, and then straight up and through. Okay? Again, as I come down, bar floats away from the rack ever so slightly, touches the chest. Wrist over elbow, elbow away from the rib, in front of the shoulder. As I press up through the crux of the lift, 90-degree bend at the elbow, most advantageous torque angle, back into the start position. Rack it all the way in. And this way, not only are you ensuring that you're putting the bar at a really good position over the bones so that there's no slack in the system whatsoever, but you're also allowing your joints to work at their most advantageous angles.